So guys, welcome to the garage. We have got another Orlandoo on the channel. Now, quite some time ago, I built this little F-150. I've recently done a little FPV conversion on it as well. So I've got one. Banggood offered to send me another one. Wasn't all that keen at first because I built that one, and I'm pretty sure I said I wasn't going to build another one after it because it was a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest with you. However, this is the OH32P02 one, and it's the Toyota Tundra style. I mean, they're not licensed, but it definitely looks like that. But what made me change my mind on this one was it's actually got a ladder frame and stuff like that on the chassis. On the F-150, it's all like a monocoque chassis, so you have to drill and make all the holes in there, and the drill I send you was too big, etc, etc, and it just was a real pain to put together. Got alloy wheels and upgraded suspension on this now and a faster motor, but this, yeah, really interested me because it's a slightly different chassis, sits a bit lower I think than the F-150. So that's the kit. There's some stuff you don't get with the kit, so you have to buy it separate, and that is the little servo. You need a motor. I chose a 500 RPM motor. I wanted the fastest one I could get hold of, because I think the F-150's got like a 200 or 300 RPM, a bit slow, so that should be a 500 RPM motor. And then you'll need your ESC. So there's an ESC in there, and there's also some little LED lights by the looks of it. And then you'll need a battery. I've already got a battery that I use in the F-150. That's an Orlandoo battery, and then that should be all we need to get this thing running. I'll leave a link in the description for all of it. Like I said, it's from Banggood. Check out the 1/30 tooth scale. Just love model. Anyway, I'm going to time lapse most of this build because there is a lot of parts. There's your body, that'll need painting. There's some more body parts in there. Wheels and tyres with foams. When you've got all your bearings and your axles to build. Suspension. I might take the suspension off my F-150 actually. It's got alloy adjustable shocks, but we'll put this on first, then I might change it. Some tools, a screwdriver and a drill. Now better. We've got some more body parts there, and then they are the rods and rod ends. Really fiddly. Make sure you've got some decent needle nose pliers, some stickers, and then quite a comprehensive instruction manual. It does go through quite a lot, so definitely worth giving the manual a good read when you're building it so you don't make any mistakes. Anyway, it's too cold in my garage to build this. We're going to go over to the dining room table and we're going to build this thing. Many hours later, we have got to this stage on the build. Now, it doesn't look like I've done much, but these things take a long time. I remember when I built that, I said I was never building another one again, and here I am building another one. The difference to this one, I've already said that it's a ladder chassis, and it is a little bit easier to build, but these things do still take time. This front end alone took me a good couple of hours. Partly because I got the gears on the inside the wrong way around at first. Even though I followed the picture, I think I was looking down on it when I think you meant to look down on it from the top rather than the bottom. Anyway, so all the front's done, and we've got the rear axle all built as well. So this is the bottom of the F-150, and this is the bottom. It's got some panels that go on here, but they're not on yet, but you'll see this is like a monocoque style chassis, or it's like all plastic. This is a nice metal ladder frame, slightly longer as well. Wheelbase is very similar, but it's just going to be a longer truck. Obviously the Tundra is a bit longer than F-150. And then big difference in the rear axle. On the this one, doesn't really look very scale. It looks a bit big and chunky, whereas if I put it on top like that, you can see much better scale looking rear axle. Anyway, back to the build, and I remembered on this one that I did try videoing it all, and it just gets too much because it takes forever. We're going to come back when this is pretty much a rolling chassis, and then it's time to decide what colour to paint the body. So there we go, guys, it is all finished. I'm not going to show you the body yet, I'm going to reveal that to you in a minute. I just want to show you the completed chassis and electronics. Now this comes with a little SMD LEDs, as well as your main 4mm ones, and the SMD ones go in that little space there on the bumper. Now I did try fitting them and wiring them in. I got them wired in, but they're red, so I didn't have any clear ones for the front, and I didn't have enough to do the rear, because I didn't get the light kit for this. You can buy it, it's separate, a full light kit for this. You can have all full lights. I think you can have indicators as well and stuff like that, but I didn't go for this on this kit. Let's have a look at the electronics, and then we'll have a look at the chassis, and then I will reveal the body to you. So ESC fits neatly in there. I've got the servo plugged in. There's your little servo. I've got the main LEDs neatly wired in through there and then soldered onto the main board. There's my little 2S battery and a receiver, and as you can see, I need to side this up a little bit, but it does all nicely fit in there. Sometimes you struggle with on these little things is fitting all the electronics in, but no problem on this one. And then let's have a look underneath. This thing is so nice and so scale. You got your little CVDs in there, suspensions on. There's only friction, but it's stiff enough to keep it going. You got your steering servo and linkages there. Drive shafts going all the way through. There's a bearing there in the middle as well. So it's supported by a bearing in the middle that transfers it to the rear. All your rear links, and then your rear axle there. Now this thing does take a long time to build, and that's why we skipped through it, and I'm just showing you it now. If I was to do a full step-by-step build video for this, it'd probably be about 10 hours long. I think it took me overall 6 hours, I think, to do it. I mean, it might have been less, I wasn't really counting, but it's definitely a big old job. But the reward afterwards for your completed truck is really good. This is all working, I've tested it. Now, the body, I mean, it comes as like a primer grey, and as you'll see, I'm quite a fan of that colour. I sprayed this Ford Polar Grey, I think it is. Now, I've gone for a similar theme on this truck, and the reason I've done that is, one, I wasn't sure what colour to paint it, and two, it's much easier to do. Anyway, here's the body. Guys, this thing is so cool. So I didn't paint it because I couldn't decide what colour I wanted to do, and in the future I might want to change the colour, and because it's unpainted now I can just prime it and colour it. And to be fair, the grey is quite a popular colour at the moment for these kind of pickup trucks. Bit of a military style to it. These stickers I got off, I had a set of stickers for WPL, so I got them off of that, and I think they go on there nicely with a 4x4. This thing looks so nice. What a step up from the F150. I mean, this is good. I've changed, this has obviously been cut and shut because I've been doing the FPV with it, but this is nice. But the detail and the scale on this is much nicer than the F150, the OH35. This is the OH32. Much nicer. Anyway, so what we're going to do, I'm going to build a little track just on the workbench here. We'll give this a bit of a test. It's got some really nice articulation on there. Let's give it a test, and then I'll do another video and give it a full run on a little mini crawler course, maybe against one of the RGTs or something like that. But this thing is awesome. So I've got made a little track here. It's nothing really too technical. There is this little bit. I'm building a little micro or mini crawler track at the moment, and this is a part of it that I'm doing. It's a really crooked little bridge. As you can see, it's got some quite steep camber on that. You'll be impressed at how well this gets up here. I've tried this to make sure I can get round. A few bits and pieces dotted around, and then this bit, that is between 52 and 57 degrees depending on what point it's climbing up, over the hill, and then over little bits of wood, over some batteries, and back to the start. So only a small track, but it will give you a good idea of how well this performs. Now, something I haven't shown you, a really cool feature on this is underneath there, you got a little button that you push. You push that. I can't do it one-handed. Hang on, there we go. So you push that, and the body lifts off, and it's hooked in under the back there. Two little grey tabs there. Hooks in under there, and then to put it on, you just push it down, push that button in, push it down, it's locked in. Really cool design, nice and neat, and you don't have to put any screws in or any fixings or anything like that. Really good, I like that. Anyway, I'm going to keep the lights off for this. They are on the third channel, as you can see. We've got the lights, but I'm going to keep them off for this because I don't want it glaring in the camera as we're going over the track, but I'll show you how it gets on. So bear in mind, this isn't a dedicated crawler because of how low it sits. I have stiffened that front suspension up as well. Too soft. I'd put the smaller spacers on there, and I put the bigger ones on the back, but I had some spare bigger ones, so it's now got double. It's got a small one and a big one on each shock on the front. It just raises that front up a bit. It makes it a little bit easier to crawl over stuff. And while I was talking, I got that at the wrong angle. Right, watch how this climbs up here. If I can get it right, this thing is insane how it gets up here. At this point, you think it's going to fall, but it just keeps climbing. Ah, done it wrong. So this bit is a bit tricky to get the right angle, so I've reset it. But once it actually gets on there and you get the right angle, it's insane how it manages to climb. I'll try and stop halfway up to show you. Yeah, I think we've got the right angle now. So I'll stop there. It's got a good brake on it, but this thing is absolutely crazy. Look at the angle on that. It's managing to keep going. Just for reference, if I put one of the 124 RGTs on there, it just rolls straight off. Obviously, lower centre of gravity on this. Nice slow crawling motor. And we get up to the top. Sometimes, because it does ground out, you do need to just give it a bit of throttle, like that, to get over. Bit of a crap bit now, this bit. It was just for me to try and get it on back onto the work surface. Right, I'm just going to put it down now. Bit of a crap bit. Right, anyway, onto this bit. Watch how well it does this. The tow bar does kind of obstruct it initially. So this is 50, I think at that point it's about 55 degrees. The only issue I've got is the top of the hill. But with a little bit of patience, wiggle the front wheels, it does eventually get some grip. There you go, over the top. And down to the back, and finished. That's it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. This little track was just to show you the performance of this thing, but this video was just the initial look at this new Orlandoo and the build of it. I am super impressed with how well this goes, especially stuff like this. I mean, there's not much that could hold on at that kind of angle. Yeah, super impressed. Anyway, link in the description for where you can get this from. I'm going to build a proper little micro mini crawler track. I've got it half done. I've just got a bit more to do. Some of the stuff's already on the workbench here, as you can see. Cheers for watching. Look out for some more videos of this. I'll put it up against the 124R GTs and maybe some other stuff. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you next time.